Okay, let me record. Okay, we started the recording, and so what I'd like to do now is this. Jabu is very, very rare and very, very potentially um, helpful person to the success of Bukit Vista. So let's go ahead and first open up her. Let's open up that professional networking with Jabu paper that I have at the very top. Whoever has control of the screen. Yes, yes, please. So once we open that paper, I'll describe a little bit more. Okay, so the reason why Jabu is very rare and really precious, and we think she can help us a lot, is Jabu knows how to go from a company our size to a company that's the size of Airbnb. Most of the time, when we talk to HR people, they've already arrived after the company has reached 1,000, 2,000, whatever number of people. Jabu was not like that. Jabu was essentially where Ara is, right? Yes. Okay. Where Ara is today, essentially. She was at the very first HR founder for Airbnb, but it wasn't just one company. It was for three different companies: Airbnb, Ship, and TaskRabbit. So TaskRabbit is what I think GoSend would be, or maybe like Go Massage would be. It's just like essentially a on-demand call service. It never got to be that big. It was, I think, sub-unicorn. Airbnb, as we all know, was a deca unicorn, and a Ship went out of business. So this is a really interesting perspective too on three different companies from an HR person who was the first HR person in these companies. So what can we do to figure out how to get like this type of knowledge over so that we can succeed on our HR program? That's the discussion. And so the questions I want to ask is, let's start imagining questions, and that way we'll be ready 7 o'clock tomorrow. I'll go to, let's see, I'd like to ask Ara first, actually. Ara, any questions that you'd like to ask?
Since, as you told, maybe me and Jabu share the same tracks of experience as the roles. What I like to know is that the how is how is her priority of development looks like as an head of HR? Is it the people first, nurturing the people first? Is it the anything like onboarding program first, recruitment first, or deepen the talent pool first? And then yeah, most likely I'd like to know her priorities on the development.
Excellent. Okay, there we have it, right? We have that question set up. HR has a strong hand in the culture and future of a company. How do you set your priorities? Um, okay, all right, and then I think we can put in those points. Which particular thing is the most highly prioritized? Is it recruiting, retention, onboarding, selection? What part of it is the most vital? Okay, good. Let's go next to Kiki. Kiki, what do we have?
Sir, I just come from the toilet. Can you explain again what
Okay,
we are currently discussing?
okay. I'll roll to somebody else before we actually come back to Kiki. Then let's go next to Alethea. Alethea, please, what do you have for us?
I think maybe I wanted to ask her about like what the key initiatives she has for like each aspect of HR. So maybe like selection, what she thought was like a very good initiative that really helped them, or like
Ah,
employee engagement, and then after like onboarding, offboarding. Yeah.
okay, that's very good. So that's kind of a priority question again, or more of a. Okay, so that's a really good question. Alethea, could you write that question onto this paper too as well, so that we record that?
Okay.
And please think of how you'd like to categorize it too. Okay, next to Tara. Tara, what do you think?
Well, I'm not sure what I would ask, not gonna lie. um, hmm. Could you maybe come back to me later?
Sure, absolutely. Let's go to Joe.
Thank you.
Joe's smiling right now, so I think you might have something for us.
Are you referring to me?
Yes, sir. You're the only Joker.
I also have. I actually have no idea what to ask. Maybe you can get to me back later.
Okay. HR is a little bit abstract, yeah? Okay, Sing. Sing's going to come into HR. Let's hope she has an answer. Or a question, rather.
I think I would like to know some of the challenges that they had in HR. and how did they overcome the challenges.
Okay.
So yeah.
Got it. But let's actually make sure that we when we ask that kind of questions thing, we can get anything back, right? She could say that the challenge was sorting out the meal program, right? For let's say the employees, or maybe the challenge was to to I don't know fix the healthcare program. So when we ask for a challenge, we should probably make sure it's a challenge that would be in our context as well, so that way when she tells us something, we go, okay, yeah, we have that too here, right? Not like, well, we don't have a 401k program here. So let's keep on drilling. Let's keep on drilling. Let's see where we can get next. Over to Cynthia. Cynthia, what do you have for us?
Yes, sir. I think I saw it psychology there, so maybe it will be like for the personality, how she manage, and then maybe like the different personality of the team, how she manage, like when you found any, maybe like like how to treat someone is different, right? How she treat everyone's there, like she do the same, or maybe she knows about the personality or what.
Okay, so that sounds like cultural development, yeah? So how she would optimize cultural development, right? Okay,
Yep,
good
yep.
question. Who, I think Alethea, you're the one that said, like, you're asking how does she do retention, how does she do selection, and how she does sort of like brand awareness, right? There's a really good question I got from Scott, Scott McMullen. He was a project manager at Airbnb. The really good way to ask it is say you had 100 units of credit, right, that you would want to spend on each particular aspect of HR. Okay, so what aspects would those be, and how would you prioritize resources for each aspect? Because then that would be very, very revealing, right? So they wouldn't be able to say something without. They would give you actually numerical results, and you could tabulate that. So if you were to build an HR program, what would you sort of begin with, right? What would be in that pot, and how much resources would you give to each aspect of it? So that would be a very detailed answer, and it's also immediately actionable because you can look at that and go like, do we have the same prioritization as this person? Okay, let's see if we restoke some new ideas. Let's go back to Ara. Ara, do you have any new ideas for us at this point?
I think just an idea to everyone that about to ask the questions. Make sure that the question is related to her background in the terms of the experience, because
Yes.
it is very rare to have a person talking as a person that start from zero and then become head of HR. So in that sense, yeah, ask the questions that specifically only her that can answer, like things like that lah.
Okay.
So I guess that's just like guidance for everyone that about to ask a question. That's for me so far.
Definitely. Okay. I have actually like a way I would break that down. There's going from 0 to 1, there's going from 1 to 10, and then there's going from 10 to 100. Let's say 10 to 100, right? Does that make sense for everybody? So going from 0 to 1 is you have nothing, and then you're creating something. It doesn't work great, but hey, it works, right? Like it's actually creating that system. And then going from 1 to 10 is getting that first thing to work, but now better. And 10 to 100 is like really scaling up, right? So I think most of the questions should be around this theme. Like, what is it like going from 0 to 1? And then I do not think Jabu knows too much about going from 10 to 100. She didn't hang around at these companies when they went really, really big. But what was the difference here? What was the biggest change here? Yeah, during that interval between the 0 to 1 and the 1 to 10. One advice that I got from Nate Lacharczyk, he was the CTO of Airbnb, or he still is kind of like, anyway. This advice I was really, really lucky to get. I asked him, how did you go from 50 people or 20 people to like 100 people? And he said it was all about communication. After a certain size, you really, really need to think about communication in a very deliberate way. When you're working in small teams, people just communicate like kind of ad hoc. You can do that. But when you get to big teams, you really need to think about having all hands, having communication networks, having Slack, Trello, all these things to coordinate the communication. Otherwise, you won't scale as a company. So this could be very useful because sometimes maybe we're stuck at a certain level because we're not conscious what we need to prioritize. And I think that is actually pretty helpful. The one thing I'd like to ask Jabu, and this is really, really relevant to her experience, is what was the biggest difference in these three companies in terms of their approach to HR? And did that have any impact on the success and failure of their outcome? So Airbnb had an approach to HR, and she was at the very beginning, so she knew what that impetus was. Did that have any relation to why Airbnb became a billion-dollar company? Ship had a different approach to HR. Did that have any impact to why they're bankrupt and went out of business? And TaskRabbit had an approach to HR, and what effect did that have to where they eventually settled down, right? And I think that would be really great. Also, really good stuff is sort of like regrets or looking back now, what could you have seen that you didn't see at the time? That type of stuff is like landmine detection. So do we see anything in our own behavior that adds up to what could cause catastrophic failure in the future, right? So I think those would be good questions to ask too as well. Okay, all right. We also have Ivy as well. Ivy is also a person from Airbnb, but I think we'll be immediately going into Ivy's discussion after that. We can probably borrow most of the questions that we have from Jabu. Okay, that's it. I just wanted to get everybody to think about it, and tomorrow I'll moderate, and let's see, unless somebody else wants to moderate. No, I think I'll moderate. Yeah, I'll probably moderate because this one's pretty unique. And then yeah, hope to see you guys here. Yeah, that's it. Back to the chat.
Okay, thank you, Jing. So I think now we can wait. Does anyone have any further feedback or opinions? No. Okay, I think we can move on to the next discussion trend, which would be the idea of new recognition innovation ideas. So we'll start. I think we got cut off the other time. So yeah, I think for my idea, like for me, like the idea was brought up by Jing, but I will be the one like reading and discussing it. So I think apart from having monetary values, like what other forms of way we can recognize people's efforts? So I sourced out a few, so there will be more of this, or we can also reduce the amount that each person gets, like the bonuses that each person get, and then everyone can have a team lunch instead. Yeah. Okay. In terms of the shopping spree one, it's a very team bonding thing, but it's just in terms of the situation now, like the COVID situation, that one may not be as feasible. Yeah. So I would like to hear some like maybe we can discuss about it, or like how you feel, whether it will work out, like the feasibility, or like how it can be improved. Yeah. So any opinions? Maybe we can go to the interns first, like Tara.
When it comes to the lunch, I mean, I'm not sure how the restrictions are in Indonesia right now. Could anybody tell me, like, what number can a group be? Like at somebody's house, for example, like, you know, does anybody know? Like, is it 5 people?
I would nominate Ara to answer that question.
What time exactly we had lunch? Is that what you asked?
Oh no, sorry, I should have rephrased it. It's like, what's the maximum number of people that can meet up in a group, like in Indonesia right now?
100?
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I know that.
We have arisan.
I mean,
right? We have arisan, so people comes to arisan. Like, you know arisan? I don't know.
What?
Like,
Yes.
They do it on lunchtime, so.
Still?
Oh, really?
My mom do that until now, so yeah.
Oh, I thought like, you know, I don't know, just like the rest of the world seems to be doing like the maximum like 15 people type thing. So I thought, oh, okay, because I was just gonna suggest maybe you could just Gojek some food to somebody's house or something, but like really fancy food, like, and then you guys cover it, or maybe, yeah, something along those lines. Because if you can't go out to a restaurant, then gotta go for the next best thing. So, yeah.
Okay, thanks, Tara. Singh, Joseph, any of you have any feedback or like opinions? Over to Singh. You want to speak?
Actually, I think the more off day idea, or like get off work idea is quite good. I think people will like it. It motivates the employees to work harder so that they can rest more. It's like work hard, play hard, and work hard, rest hard. Yeah. So I think that will work. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Sing. Over to Joseph. Do you have any ideas? Or like which one you think would be most feasible?
Yeah, I think I don't know based on, let's say, Shopee, for example. I think you can just, instead of team shopping, maybe you give the employee like shirt of Bukit Vista or any other souvenirs. Maybe like a package of souvenir into them. You send it to their house.
Okay.
Yeah, merchandise.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Joseph. Kiki, Shintia, Arajing. Anyone?
Kiki first.
Over
Yeah,
to Kiki.
yeah, I do agree with some of this idea. We have some options, right? Let's take more off days, or probably time team lunch or team shopping spree. But I for the wait, uh, let me confirm again. For July Vista Awards, it will be held in lunchtime, right? I don't know, I forgot. If it's during our lunchtime or near our lunchtime, we could probably just buy, some coffees. It's part of shopping spree, probably. Yeah, just buy some coffee, and we all employees can enjoy that while having what is that? Having a video call together, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Kiki. I think maybe I would like to change the question a little bit because I think everyone's quite supportive of the ideas. Maybe like what the challenges may be. I think in terms of budgeting, maybe Ara and Jim would know more.
Okay.
So yeah.
I like the idea of go food and days off, but the question is, if what about Tara? That's like from Netherlands or Spain. They don't have
They
days
have,
off,
they have
so
food delivery, right?
but we have to install and everything, right?
Then we'll learn that from, like, from abroad.
I have a
Over
Yes,
to
Tara.
Tara. I mean Tara. Tara.
Virtual Indomie party. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, Tara. I think
Tara, I think you're muted.
Dang. Okay, I was gonna say I agree with the Indomie idea, but that wasn't what I was gonna say. Um, I mean, now that I know Caroline, she's also somebody who's going to be going to Europe somewhat soon, right? And there's a chance that you guys may have more like interns who are like me or her. So I mean, I don't know. You guys could like, I mean, this isn't the smartest idea because I know there's a fee for like transferring money, but it's just so common in like the Netherlands now to just give each other money, just like transfer it with online banking. So it's just you could ideally just transfer us money for food, and when we'll order it for ourselves, and then we'll just let you know that we did. I think that's a bit ridiculous, but just I mean, going off of your idea, like that would be its solution, I guess. So, yeah.
Okay, over to Jing.
Tara, could we actually? Is there a food delivery app or service in the Netherlands?
Yes, there's two at the moment that are the most popular. So one's called, forgive my pronunciation, but it's called Thuis Bezorgd, which literally means home delivery in Dutch. So that's like the most popular one there. But then they're like all over the world. And then there's like Uber Eats, which is like, I'm sure everybody's heard of that one.
Oh wow. Okay, Uber Eats is in. Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. Shintia, do you have any other like ideas, like challenges that we may face, or whether the idea is feasible?
Maybe I will agree with the go food ideas, or maybe the shopping spree. Yeah, that the things. Or if you like find a challenge with a different time zone, maybe more day offs will be the best choice.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I think then we're done for this discussion. I think Jink will probably have to discuss with the team who's in charge of the this Vista Awards, and then you'll have to like decide. Yeah, but I can
Okay.
make a summary of it, and then you can decide on. Yeah. So any other feedback, opinions? Because I think we're out of time. No. Okay, then I think the next chair person would be Ara. Then the next secretary will be Kiki. Yeah. And also, do you all have any feedback for me regarding my chairing?
Let's go to Ara first.
Okay, yeah, I know that I already found out like one. I have to stop sub discussions. Yeah, when it's
Yes,
going too off
Very
topic.
good.
very good. You detected yourself.
Yeah.
For me, it's like you're actually developed a lot from the previous one.
Huge.
See
Huge.
that, yeah, I see a big difference from the previous meeting that you chair from now, especially with bigger audience. It just I would suggest you to be more assertive. Like if you need, I mean, cut me, cut Jing, cut whoever you think that needs to be cut. Like don't feel hesitate. So I think that's what I want to read a book on facilitation. What is that? So yeah, I mean that's basically from my side, Alithia. Let's go around.
Okay, thanks, Sarah. Over to Cynthia.
Yep, I'm not sure, but based on the flows that, I don't want to be prioritized actually, but based on the guest speaker, if they're coming first, maybe you should come. You should let the guest speak first. That the things.
Yep, thank you, Cynthia. Kiki.
Yeah, I think that's great, but I see some improvements, and what my notes is maybe you can what is that more do more follow up to each of our projects, because I noticed that what is that we're not only asking for updates, but asking for follow up. Maybe you have some follow up questions or regarding for each project. So yeah, so it will be more clearer.
Sorry, can I clarify that one? As in just like follow up so that what's the purpose of the follow up? Like to better
Uh,
enable
what, what
clarification for everyone?
what I meant is giving feedbacks to each of HR people, or probably each projects. Wait, I have a call from UE. Can I?
Oh, yeah, sure, you can go and pick. Yeah. Also, yeah, I think we're running out, or we're already out of time. So I think if the Indomie people have feedback, which I hope y'all have, y'all can just ping me. Yep. So I guess that's the end of the meeting for today, guys. See ya. Bye bye.
Bye.
Olivia, good
Thank you,
job.
guys.
Good job.